Japan is sending shockwaves through every nation that values freedom, sovereignty, and the survival of its culture. Citizens are staging street protests against mosque construction. A Japanese First Party just exploded onto the political scene, and the government just dropped a 98-page policy package that amounts to one of the most aggressive immigration crackdowns in the developed world. Make sure to stick with me to the very end of this video, because what we're about to hear isn't just happening in Tokyo. It's part of a civilizational earthquake that's reshaping the entire globe. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, celebrating yet another day in the Trumpian golden age that you made possible back in November of 2024. So if you want a front row seat on how you continue to change the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. What you're seeing here are scenes not from Pakistan or Saudi Arabia or Syria. This is Japan. In June of 2025, roughly 600 Muslims gathered for an Islamic festival prayer in a public park in Fukuoka. The crowd spilled out of the mosque to 6 times the permitted area. Somebody filmed it. It went viral. And this was Japan's response. Sanae Takaichi, the Iron Lady of Japan. In January, she dissolved parliament, triggering national elections and brought her case for closing their borders, deporting migrants, and protecting their unique culture directly to the Japanese people. And on February 8th, our Super Bowl Sunday, Japan responded. Takaichi's party won the biggest political mandate in modern Japanese history, an unprecedented 2/3 supermajority, giving her the power to alter Japan's constitution, something no Japanese leader has been positioned to do in decades. It was the culmination of months upon months of protests and street demonstrations where citizens were literally shouting at Muslims to leave Japan. Then came the mosque construction battles. So in Tokyo's Taito Ward, an Islamic foundation has been building a 9-story, 39-meter mosque near Okachimachi Station. They've been planning it now for 5 years. They consulted with neighbors, had no objections. Then suddenly an online campaign erupted. The Tokyo metropolitan government got flooded with emails and phone calls demanding they stop it. Same story in Fujisawa, just south of Tokyo. A Sri Lankan Muslim group bought land, got development approval from the city, announced plans for a dome-roofed mosque, and within weeks, thousands of complaints flooded in to officials' desks. And in Hiji Town, in Oita Prefecture, a candidate who ran against a proposed Muslim cemetery won their mayoral election, and that project is now officially frozen. Now, you look at all this and you think, okay, so Japan is cracking down on Muslims, and they are, but what's actually happening is that Muslims are getting caught up in a much bigger political earthquake. This is nothing less than a comprehensive immigration crackdown across the board. And that's key to what's really that's key to understanding and what's really going on here. This isn't just about mosques. It's about something far bigger. Sovereignty, cultural identity, and the question of whether nations will defend their civilizational inheritance or surrender it piece by piece. After Sanae Takaichi was sworn in as prime minister back in October, she immediately created an entirely new cabinet position, the minister in charge of a society of well-ordered and harmonious coexistence with foreign nationals. How's that for an office title? She gave it to Kimi Onoda. Now, Onoda is as anti-immigration as they come. She has a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to illegal activity among foreigners living in Japan, and she's spearheading the campaign to dramatically close Japan's borders. Then in January, Takaichi's government dropped a 98-page policy package that's reshaping Japanese immigration from top to bottom. A zero illegal stayers initiative. It's a full-scale campaign to find and deport every single undocumented foreign resident, as they're called, in the country. The number of state-funded deportations escorted by immigration officers will be doubled. Starting in 2027, permanent residency can be revoked if you don't pay your taxes or social insurance. No payment, no visa renewal. They require Japanese language proficiency for permanent residency. Naturalization residency requirements are being extended from 5 years to 10. Business manager visa capital requirements are jumping from 5 million yen to 30 million. And you now need a full-time Japanese employee before you can even apply. An estimated 96% of current business visa holders will not qualify under these new rules. This is a serious crackdown on the standards and requirements that allow foreigners to live inside Japan. And if what's happening on the streets of Tokyo and cities throughout the nation is any indicator, this is all just the beginning. Wait until you see this. But first, gang, let's talk crypto for a moment. Most people are seeing a sea of red in the markets right now, and they've caught this virus called panic, right? They're either freezing, selling, or they're just sitting there and praying. But if you want to build real crypto retirement wealth, you got to understand the value of a down market. While the crowd is holding and hoping, the smart money is hunting. This isn't a crisis. This is a natural crypto investment cycle, and it's exactly what Block Trust IRA was built for. You see, they're powered by Animus AI. Now, this system doesn't have a heartbeat. It doesn't get scared. It don't panic. It doesn't sleep. It was engineered specifically for this kind of opportunity. When volatility spikes and everyone else is losing their minds, Animus is at its best. It's designed to capture the downside early, shifting into defensive positions to protect your capital while everyone else's portfolio is bleeding out. But here's the inside line. Animus doesn't just play defense. It's lying in wait. It's positioned to be the very first one off the starting blocks the second the bull starts running again. And in crypto, it always runs again. It's this award-winning platform that's seen their clients return plus 26% over a self-managed account, including fees, in 2025 alone. They'll also run a zero-conflict model. No hidden spreads, no roach motel traps. They only win when you win, period. The market is a massive entry point right now, and the windows of opportunity in crypto don't stay open long before this next big rise. So don't wait. Click on that link below right now. The Impact Theory community gets a $2,500 funding bonus to kickstart your account today. Visit turleytalkscrypto.com right now. Don't just watch the market happen to you. Own the volatility. That's turleytalkscrypto.com.
インターネットで集まった人たちが日本の政治を変える。それをね、世界に見せるんですよ。
In July of 2025, a political earthquake rocked Japan as the brand new nationalist populist party Sanseito went from holding one upper house seat to 15. They gained 5.6 million proportional votes in just 3 years. Their platform? Japanese first. Their leader, Sohei Kamiya, said he was inspired by MAGA, and he wanted a comparable movement in his own nation as well. And here's the political dynamic that really matters here. Sanseito didn't just win seats. They moved the entire political center of gravity. The ruling party, the LDP, they started to see conservative voters bleeding to Sanseito. And they responded by adopting tougher immigration rhetoric themselves. Takeichi's entire premiership is, in many ways, the LDP's adoption of the Sanseito vision for Japan First governance. Now, this is actually the pattern that we're seeing over and over again with the rise of nationalist populist parties. The center-left and center-right turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to the concerns of citizens about immigration and demographic change. And then when they do that is they inadvertently open up a political vacuum that gets filled by bootleggers, right? Political outsiders and third parties that respond to those very concerns that the establishment parties ignore. Then they start peeling off voters from the mainstream center-right party in particular that mainstream center-right party starts to freak out as it sees it's losing membership. And so they end up pivoting and adopting the nationalist populist position in order to stay in power. And boom, the nationalist populist right goes mainstream. We see that pattern over and over again in Europe and Latin America, here at home when Trump took over the Republican Party, and now increasingly in Japan. And the Japanese public is overwhelmingly behind this. A November 2025 Asahi Shimbun poll found 56% of respondents believe Japan needs fewer visitors and immigrants. 66% backed Takeichi's tougher stance. A December Yomiuri Shimbun poll found 59% oppose foreign labor, and an NHK poll found 70% support raising the bar for obtaining Japanese citizenship. Japan is drawing a line on who gets to come, who gets to stay, and on what terms. And this is where we get to see the really big picture here, because what's happening in Japan is happening literally everywhere. These questions of what it really means to preserve a civilization and what cultures are actually compatible with one another are the kinds of questions that arise with the advent of something scholars call civilizational populism. We talk about it all the time on this channel. For an increasing number of populist movements, not just in Europe, but now in Asia, there is a growing conviction that unique civilizational identities are being threatened by mass immigration policies imposed by a corrupt globalist elite for their own political power and affluence. Open borders allow for the mass importation of cheap labor, which maximizes corporate profits, a significant portion of which goes off to pay off politicians who promise to keep the borders open. And when the people of the nation rise up and demand that their borders be closed and their sovereignty defended, they're branded and stigmatized as far-right racist xenophobes. But that dishonest caricature is only further fueling the rise of civilizational populism. And so what we're seeing from Giorgia Meloni in Italy banning the burqa, to Marine Le Pen reshaping French politics, to Geert Wilders in the Netherlands, to Viktor Orban in Hungary, to the Sanseto explosion in Japan, it's a worldwide civilizational awakening. Japan is drawing a line. Europe is drawing a line. The message is unmistakable. Public spaces belong to the citizens who built them. No foreign ideology will override national law. Civic unity will be enforced, and sovereignty is non-negotiable. A new civilizationalist world is rising, and Japan is leading the way. If you found this video helpful, you'll love Patriot Alerts, my free daily newsletter plus weekly rack-up. Check out the link below.